From a lady flashing her tits to Ronaldo kicking out an opponent. These are the 30 wildest moments in football history. And first, a group of Venezuelan TV presenters found the perfect way to motivate their national team. Ahead of the 2015 Copa America, some female Venezuelan presenters released this video to motivate their players.
La desnudez y el cariño por Latinoamérica nos han impulsado desde nuestros inicios hace poco menos de un año, durante el Mundial de Fútbol Brasil 2014. Tal es nuestro amor por el fútbol y nuestra vino tinto, que consideramos que nadie en Latinoamérica quiere tanto a su selección.
What the hell?
After the team won their first match, they did it again, with one using her boobs to predict the match results, like Octopus Paul. Unfortunately, the team lost their next two matches, but the ladies still did that same thing just for the culture.
Nice.
Trust me, no man in Venezuela was upset about the team's exit. Just like an Arab man discovered there was more to life at the 2022 World Cup. Leading up to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, the host country was heavily criticized for listing many strict rules fans had to obey. Being an Islamic country, they banned alcohol, PDAs, and indecent dressing, among other things. But a fan dared the Qatari government to do the one thing they didn't like. Her name is Ivana Nol, a Croatian fan who became a superstar because of her gorgeous looks and daring personality. She wore her country's colors with pride and found a way to make a national flag look sexy. During one of Croatia's matches at the World Cup, she walked past some sheiks in a bikini top and leggings, and the Arab men couldn't help but admire her beauty. From the way he looked at her, you could tell he was reassessing his life choices. But while it was all smiles and selfies for Ivana, Cristiano Ronaldo has been knocking out opponents in the Middle East. Al-Hilal Zali Al-Balahi has built up a reputation as an annoying player. He disrespected Heung-min Son at the World Cup and tried messing with Lionel Messi.
Al-Balahi slapped Lionel Messi on the back and told him, "You will not win."
But with both players refusing to retaliate, he thought he was a villain, so in a match against Al Nassr, he tried doing the same thing with Ronaldo, only to end up face flat on the pitch. I guess not every goat can be messed with, but as wild as this might have been, it's nothing compared to a man who tried to end the referee's life. In a match between fierce rivals PAOK and AEK Athens, the PAOK players scored what was definitely a last-minute winner. But after a lengthy VAR check, the referee canceled the goal, much to the anger of the home crowd. Angry about the division, PAOK owner Ivan Savitas stormed onto the pitch to challenge the ref. Making things worse, he was charging at the ref with a gun strapped around his waist. It took a monumental effort to get the referee away from danger. Even this madness is nothing compared to using dark magic to win a game. In a shocking display of voodoo, a goalkeeper planted something at the edge of his goalpost to prevent his opponents from scoring. The striker of the opposing team, who was wise to his antics, decided to get rid of the charm when the goalkeeper was being treated. Damn, doing black magic just to keep a clean sheet isn't something I was expecting to see. But at number 25, a player scored one of the most controversial goals ever. During a match between Bayern Leverkusen and Hoffenheim, Leverkusen striker Stefan Kiesling rose the highest to head a corner.
Oh, that's an excellent goal. He just keeps scoring.
But his header, which seemed to hit the side netting, somehow found its way into the net. At first, the striker was disappointed that he missed the header, but as his teammates started celebrating, he decided to play along. But the replay showed the ball clearly went through an opening in the net, but since the referee had already awarded the goal, it stood. You gotta feel bad for the Hoffenheim players, but I'll bet you feel even worse when you see what happens at number 24. After his opponent crashed his penalty against the crossbar, this goalkeeper couldn't contain his joy and celebrated in front of the striker. But his excitement quickly turned to disaster. Damn, I need this kind of luck when I'm talking to girls. But at number 23, a man set a record for the shortest stint as a manager. Immediately after getting relegated from the English Football League, football club Torquay United reappointed Leroy Rossignol to guide the promotion charge. But 10 minutes after his appointment, the club was sold and the new owners came with their own manager. And just like that, he was sacked before he even finished smiling about his appointment.
What's that all about? They should be talking about the game.
And since we're talking about records, a legend got the fastest red card in the history of Liverpool FC. In a Premier League match between Liverpool and Manchester United, Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard came in as a second-half sub to try and help his team win. Once on the pitch, the first thing he did was to clatter into Ander Herrera.
Got the crowd going already. Forward challenge. United might say the foot was up for it.
Some more reasons than one, Steve. This is the first challenge. Clatters into Mata by contacting, but there, the stamp, he spotted at the referee.
Being a hothead himself, Herrera returned the favor, and the Liverpool captain replied by stomping on his leg. He was only on the pitch for 38 seconds. I wonder what got him this mad. But what comes at number 21 will wash away that nastiness you just saw. After winning the 2022 World Cup, the Argentine fans could not contain their excitement. But while most fans were cheering and dancing, this lady decided to celebrate by taking her top off. She turned to the group of fans behind her, mostly men, and flashed her boobs while jumping and dancing. Some say this is the best way ladies should cheer their teams. Well, it's kind of hard to argue with that. But even that wild celebration didn't break our top 20, because at our number 10 pick, a player got relegated twice in the same season. But before we get to that, let's look at a player who made the whole world watch the MLS. When news broke out that Messi was joining MLS side Inter Miami, it sent shockwaves across the world, as Messi was still very much at the peak of his powers. So when it was time for him to make his competitive debut, it attracted stars like Tyga, Selena Gomez, Prince Harry, Leonardo DiCaprio, and a mammoth 3.5 billion people streaming it live. With the whole world watching, Messi showed them his class by doing this minutes after getting on the pitch. Messi's debut is giving you goosebumps. You better believe Ronaldo's return to Manchester United would do the same thing. After leaving Manchester United 12 years earlier, Cristiano Ronaldo stepped out in that famous red jersey to loud applause from the fans. Even the commentator couldn't contain his excitement with this eulogy.
A walking work of art. Vintage, beyond valuation, beyond forgery or imitation. 18 years since that trembling teenager of touch and tease first tiptoed onto this storied stage. Now in his immaculate maturity, CR7 reunited.
But with Ronaldo already 36, many people thought he was past his prime. So he had to show everyone he still had it.
And of course, I'm so happy to be back home after 12 years. So I'm really glad and looking forward to start my first game.
Greenwood had a pop, Woodman spilled it, and guess who's there? Close your eyes, and he never went away. We're going to play in Ronaldo. It is Ronaldo. It's 2-1 United. The theatre lives its dream. It's fantasy hero retreads.
That was insane. But at number 18, a player got scammed into signing for the wrong club. After the big money takeover of Man City in 2008, the club's new owners wanted to make a big name signing that would propel the club into a new era. So the club went to Real Madrid and splashed the cash on their tricky winger, Robinho. When the Brazilian was offered the deal, he saw Manchester and assumed he was agreeing on a deal to join Manchester United.
What?
But when the time came to meet his new manager, he was disappointed to see Mark Hughes instead of Sir Alex Ferguson.
What the hell?
Having already signed the contract, he was forced to go play for a team he didn't know existed.
I'm very happy to be here. I hope to show my best football and bring lots of joy to the fans. I would like to thank the support of the manager as well.
Maybe that's why he flopped in the Premier League. But at number 17, a guy who chose the wrong place and time to land in his parachute. During a match in the Polish league, the referee suddenly blew the whistle when a man appeared in a parachute.
O Jezu.
There's no questioning that decision. A dangerous dive like that deserves a red card. But this wasn't even the only time something like this happened. At number 16, a guy risked his life and the life of others just to pass a message. Watch this. Speaking of protests, the fans of St. Etienne took their frustrations a little too far. Having won the league title in France 10 times, St. Etienne is undoubtedly one of the biggest football clubs in history. For a team that's tasted this much success, their fans have grown accustomed to winning. But a combination of bad results and financial struggles meant the team narrowly qualified for the relegation playoffs on the last day of the 2022 season. After drawing 1-1 in the first leg of the playoff against Auxerre, the fate of the club rested on how well they could perform in the second leg. But the team failed to turn up once again as the game was taken to a penalty shootout. So, after the Auxerre players scored the winning penalty to confirm their relegation, this happened. Whoa, the Auxerre players couldn't even celebrate their victory before they started running for their lives. Seeing fans behave like that is just embarrassing. But not all fans are violent. At number 14, a group of supporters eagerly awaited the final whistle for completely different reasons. In the 2020-2021 Swedish League, the title race between Malmö and AIK went down to the last day of the season. With a win or a draw enough for Malmö to be crowned champions, the fans couldn't wait for the final whistle to be blown. So when it finally came, this happened. Seeing the fans rush onto the pitch like that almost gave me PTSD from the St. Etienne incident. Thankfully, this was a heartwarming experience for both the players and the fans. But at number 13, one fan did the exact opposite by traumatizing Mo Salah and his teammates.
But in one moment, disappeared. It's so difficult. It's so difficult.
In the 2019 Champions League final between Liverpool and Tottenham, the boys from Myerside were quietly confident they could win the trophy. But a few minutes into the game, the players were treated to a rather pleasing surprise. A half-naked lady ran onto the pitch, heading towards Salah. But before she could get to him, the stewards quickly grabbed her and took her off the pitch. Now, the crazy part is when fans discovered the lady's name was Kinsey Wolanski, her Instagram account grew from 350,000 followers to more than 1.6 million in just a few hours. Damn, maybe I should run naked to get this channel to blow up. Nah.
No. 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 Hell no!
But at number 12, a player took just a few seconds to give his coach a heart attack. While most players become famous for their skills and football abilities, Mario Balotelli became popular for having a bizarre personality. We saw him struggle to put on a bib.
Well, what's he doing with that there? What? He can't even get his bib on there, Ray. I think I'm going to change his name to Mario Bibatelli. What is he doing? He can't get his bib on.
He's trying.
Look, he's trying.
And his famous joke with his club's photographer. But maybe the most perfect description of Balotelli was when Mourinho said this.
What was the most problematic player you ever had to deal with?
I spent, I would say, 14 minutes. Of the 15, I was spending 14 minutes speaking only for Mario. Mario, I cannot change you. I cannot make a change. I don't have a striker on the bench. Don't touch anybody. Play only with the ball. When we lose the ball, no reaction. If somebody provocates you, no reaction. If the referee makes a mistake, no reaction. Mario, please.
And when you look at the video of what happened that day...
Minute 46.
No way.
Red card.
No way.
He might be the wildest character in football. Wait a minute, he might not even be the craziest person in this conversation, because I just remembered what Jose Mourinho did. Jose Mourinho is arguably the most confident manager in football history. And when you look at how many trophies he's won, it's kind of hard to argue.
3 premierships, and I won more premierships alone than the other 19 managers together. 3 for me and 2 for them. Respect.
But aside from his supreme confidence, this man lives and breathes controversy.
When you were a kid, you were playing badminton. Badminton. You didn't play rugby. Play badminton.
If he's not getting into fights with other managers, he's insulting referees and getting booked. In a match against Man City, Mourinho was happy that VAR overturned a penalty decision against his Spurs team. But when his assistant whispered something in his ear, this happened.
This is brutal.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone switch up that fast. But now that we're at our top 10, things are about to get even wilder. I'm talking about an endless penalty shootout, a guy kissing a reporter on live TV. But before we get to those, let's look at a footballer who set the most embarrassing record in football history. At the start of the 2014-2015 Premier League season, Harry Maguire made his Hull City debut in a 1-0 defeat to Belgian side KSC Lokeren. But after making only 4 more appearances in the first half of the season, the Hull City coach decided Maguire needed some valuable experience in a lower league. So he was shipped out on loan to Wigan Athletic for the remainder of the season. While there, he played in every game for his new club. But after a run of 9 consecutive losses to end the season, they were relegated to League One. Being a lone player, Maguire packed his bags and headed back to Hull City. Unfortunately for him, Hull City also ended the season poorly, which meant they too were relegated to the second division. Having played for both teams, Maguire became the first player in history to suffer a double relegation in one season. Think, This same guy is the most expensive defender in football history. That's just one hell of a redemption arc. Speaking of redemptions, Albania's Klaus Jasula went from villain to hero in less than 30 seconds. In the Euro 2024 match between Albania and Croatia, the Albanians shocked the Croatians by scoring an early goal. As the game progressed, the Croatians kept on attacking, but it took till the 74th minute before they could get an equalizer. In a bid to refresh his team, Albania's coach brought on Klaus Jasula. But with essentially his first touch of the game, he scored an unfortunate own goal to gift Croatia the lead. Then, with the last chance of the game in stoppage time, Jasula scored with a lovely finish to level the game. Wow, going through a roller coaster of emotions like that must have been insane. But it's nothing compared to a club that played a match without players. During the height of COVID-19, a massive outbreak occurred within the first team of Bolivian club Royal Paris. But instead of postponing their fixtures like everyone else did, the Bolivian FA felt it was wise to force teams to play. Angered by this decision, Royal Paris started their match against the strongest with only 7 players.
What the hell?
However, their defiance quickly turned into disaster. Their opponents scored 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of the match. To stop the game from turning into a national embarrassment, a Royal Paris player faked an injury and got the match suspended. But as wild as this might have been, it's nothing compared to a team that hired a referee to play for them. During a Mexican League match between Cruz Azul and Toluca, the Cruz Azul players were still pushing to score despite already being up 3-0. But the referee, who was probably a Toluca fan, decided to do this. Thankfully, the players all laughed about it. But at number 6, Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte gave us one of the most iconic fights of all time. In a match between Chelsea and Tottenham, Thomas Tuchel and Antonio clashed severely because the referee made so many errors. So, after the entertaining game ended in a 2-2 draw, the managers decided to thrill the fans one more time.
Runs on, it's headed in for 2-2.
And it's finished. It hasn't finished. Direction. It's only just started. In terms of...
Damn, these guys might actually make it as arm wrestlers. But now that we're down to our top 5, I suggest you get your popcorn ready, because things are gonna get insane. Starting with a football match that refused to end. In an Argentine Football League match, Juventud Alianza and General Paz Juniors clashed for a right to play in the end-of-season playoffs final. But after the match ended in a draw, a penalty shootout was required to determine the winner. The first round of penalties was played with all 5 players from each team scoring. A second set of 5 was played, and still all the players scored. Then a third, and a fourth, all converted without a single miss. After 40 converted penalties, Junior's goalkeeper missed his spot kick, and the fate of his overly long shootout rested on the Juventud goalkeeper. He stepped up and converted his shot with ease to give his team a victory, while setting the record for the longest penalty shootout in football history. But even that wild record can't be compared to a time a footballer did one of the craziest things you'll ever see on live TV. After winning the 2010 World Cup, an emotional Iker Casillas was being interviewed by a pretty TV presenter. But while she kept asking questions, Casillas had his mind fixed on something else. So when he'd had enough of her talk, he did this. Since we're in the mood for some romance, I wonder what Mascara was thinking when he did this. I would have thrown hands if someone did that to me on a football field. But as wild as this might have been, it's nothing compared to easing yourself on a football field. Looking at his hairline, that man is at least 50. So we'll give him a pass on that hideous act. But now, it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for, the wildest moment in football history. In a championship match between Sunderland and Norwich, the boys in black and red were leading 1-0, just a few seconds of normal time remaining. But with the game on the line, Sunderland's Luke O'Neill figured it was the best time to play mind games. So, as he and a Norwich player contested for a ball, he did this.
Yeah, it's just that little nudge. It's dangerous when you push him into a hoarding like that, and I think no player is going to be happy with things.
Wow! I haven't seen anything that wild in a long time. Jacob Sorensen didn't know whether to grab him or punch him or just anything. When asked why he did that, O'Neill just said, "As players, we try to wind each other up, and normally people do it down the aggressive route. I tried an alternative route, and I think it worked a little bit." He's lucky to have gotten away with that. Unlike a young Everton player who pissed off Ronaldo and got his phone smashed, or the time football almost knocked out a reporter on live TV. Click on this next video to see the most ridiculous moments in football history.